Did you know that one of the most powerful lessons about investing comes from a parable told over 2,000 years ago? The parable of the talents is not just a spiritual story. It's a practical guide for those starting to build a prosperous life. Today, we're going to explore how this parable can transform your perspective on money and share 3 practical tips for beginners looking to grow in the world of investments. If you're seeking biblical wisdom applied to your finances, subscribe to the Biblical CEO and join us on this journey. To set the context, let me tell you which parable this is. The parable of the talents is a story Jesus told to teach an important lesson about how we use what we have. It goes something like this. A master goes on a journey and leaves part of his wealth with 3 trusted servants. He gives each of them a significant amount, but in different quantities: 5 talents to the first, 2 to the second, and 1 to the third. Back then, a talent was worth a lot, like a small fortune. The first 2 guys take the money and work hard. They invest, do business, and manage to double what they received. When the master returns, he's super pleased and says something like, "Well done, you have been faithful with little, so I will put you in charge of much more." But the third servant decides not to do anything. Afraid of losing the money, he digs a hole in the ground and buries the talent. When the master returns, he gives back the talent exactly as he received it, thinking he was doing the right thing by not taking any risks. But the master is disappointed and says, "You could have at least put the money in the bank to earn some interest. Since you did nothing, I'll take what is yours and give it to the one who multiplied." The moral of the story? God expects us to make good use of what we've been given, whether it's money, time, or abilities. It's not about how much you have, but what you do with it. Standing still, out of fear of making mistakes, only makes you miss out on incredible opportunities. It's a powerful lesson that applies both to our spiritual lives and to finances and business. Now that we understand the importance of putting our resources to work, like the first 2 servants did, it's time to talk about something crucial: the fear of taking risks. Many people, like the third servant, end up paralyzed by the fear of losing the little they have, letting big opportunities slip by. But is it possible to take risks in a smart and safe way? In the next section, we'll find out how you can overcome that fear and make strategic decisions to grow financially. Let's go! The fear of losing something can be very paralyzing, especially when we're talking about money. In the parable, the third servant was afraid of doing something wrong with the talent he received, so he decided to bury it. He thought he was being safe, but in reality, he was missing out on a great opportunity to grow. The problem with playing it safe is that you end up stuck in your comfort zone and don't take advantage of opportunities that could lead to something much bigger. The fear of losing often keeps people from seeing the possibilities of gaining and growing. When it comes to finances and investments, fear is normal, especially for beginners. After all, we're dealing with something important to our money, and the idea of losing any part of it can be scary. But what sets successful investors apart from those who stay still is the willingness to take risks, but in an intelligent way. It's important to remember that financial growth is linked to our ability to handle risk in a smart and calculated way. The more we understand how investments work and learn to manage our fears, the greater our chances of getting positive returns and reaching our goals. What are calculated risks? Taking calculated risks means not entering a situation blindly. Before investing, you study, analyze the options, and understand the possible outcomes. It's not about gambling, but about making informed choices based on research and understanding. For example, instead of putting all your money into one risky investment, you can diversify and protect part of your assets. This involves making decisions based on data, performance history, forecasts, and often the advice of experts. Calculated risks are those that are planned and have solid justification behind them. When investing, it's essential to ask questions like, what is the expected return on this investment? What are the risks involved? What can I do to minimize these risks? These questions help create a strategy and make informed decisions. This way, you're better prepared to face challenges and can reduce the chances of loss, increasing the chances of success. What does the Bible teach about this? The attitude of the third servant reminds us that fear can keep us from growing. In Ecclesiastes 11:4, we read, "Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. This passage teaches us that if we wait for perfect conditions, we will never take the first step. Just as the farmer needs to plant even without a guarantee of rain, we also need to act, trusting in a good strategy and the principles we've learned. Often, waiting for an ideal scenario makes us miss opportunities that were already within our reach. The Bible encourages us to be proactive and wisely use the resources we have instead of being paralyzed by the fear of the unknown. Fear can give us the false sense of protection, but in reality, it limits our potential. God gives us talents and opportunities so we can grow and multiply them. When we refuse to act, we are wasting what has been entrusted to us. That's why it's essential to overcome insecurity and put into practice what we've learned, even when conditions don't seem perfect. Making informed and calculated decisions is key to moving forward, both spiritually and financially. How to take risks wisely. Start small. If you're a beginner, invest a smaller part of your money in something with a bit more risk, like equity funds or promising startups. This helps you gain experience without putting everything on the line. Starting small allows you to learn from mistakes and better understand how financial markets work. As you gain confidence, you can increase your investments and diversify more. Diversify. Never put all your resources in one place. This minimizes damage if something goes wrong. Think about investing in different sectors, asset types, or even countries. Diversification is a way to spread the risk, ensuring that if one investment doesn't work out, others can make up for it. This strategy is highly recommended by experts as it protects your assets against market fluctuations and allows for a balance between risk and return. Learn from experts. Read, watch videos, or even seek a trustworthy financial advisor. Information is your best tool for facing fear. The more you understand how investments work, the less afraid you will be of taking risks. Additionally, learning from those with experience in the market helps avoid common mistakes and make safer choices. Participating in courses, workshops, and following specialized content are great ways to gain knowledge and better prepare for the challenges of the financial market. Have an emergency fund. Before investing, make sure you have financial reserves to cover unexpected events. This way, you can invest without panic. Having an emergency fund provides security and allows you to take risks more calmly. This fund should be enough to cover 3 to 6 months of your expenses, ensuring you have backup in case something unexpected happens. This way, you can dedicate yourself to your investments without the pressure of needing the money right away. Let's recap what we learned today. First, we saw that the fear of losing something can paralyze us and prevent us from reaching our full potential. The third servant, out of fear, buried the talent and missed the chance to grow. Instead, we need to learn to manage fear and use our resources in the best possible way. We talked about the importance of taking calculated risks. This means understanding opportunities before acting and making informed decisions. Whether it's starting small, diversifying your investments, learning from experts, or ensuring an emergency fund, each of these strategies helps minimize risk and maximize the chances of success. Finally, we saw that the Bible teaches us not to be paralyzed by waiting for perfect conditions. We must act, trust, and use our talents. God has given us abilities and resources to multiply and make a difference, and it's up to us to do so with courage and wisdom. Remember, the greatest risk is not taking any risk. When we do nothing, we don't grow, and opportunities that could change our lives end up being lost. The secret is to act wisely, take calculated risks, and always believe in our potential for growth. I want to challenge you to take the first step today. What is that calculated risk you need to take? Whether it's small or big, it doesn't matter. What matters is starting. Go ahead, trust your ability, and above all, don't let fear keep you from reaching what God has planned for you. You can grow, you can prosper, and you can make a difference. Thank you for being here today. If you felt inspired, don't forget to share this message and subscribe to the Biblical CEO to use the timeless teachings of the Bible to grow and prosper in the world of business and finance. Comment below on the most valuable insight you took from this video because I learned a lot while writing this script. I hope I've helped.